Hi, welcome to Talk About. We are honored to have Carol Chapman as our guest today.
Well,
lady who needs no introduction.
It's an honor to be here.
Well, you do so many things, and there's so much to talk about. We're going to get to Canada Day in particular, but first, let's just do a bit of history. Your family's been in town for a long time. How long?
1953, my family came to Campbell River, and I was born and raised here, as all my siblings, and I've just never left. This is my 60th year in Campbell River.
You do the math, and it adds up to 60?
Yeah, it's crazy, eh?
You don't look a day over 50.
Oh, bless your heart. I knew there was a reason I was coming today.
Well, let's do the plug for Cut Above, too.
Well, I've been very, very lucky. I have worked at the Campbell River Common, which used to be the Ironwood Mall, for the past 36 years, uninterrupted.
Wow.
And I'm blessed. I love my job. I love the mall. It's, you know, it's just it's a good vehicle for me to be able to do what I do in the community.
Yeah. Now, you do a lot in the community, but the coming event is Canada Day.
I'm very excited for
Yes.
Canada Day.
What's better about Canada Day this year than last year?
Well, every year we grow our event, and this year we're very, very pleased to have 100% control over the huck fin and the small fry fishing derby, which has always been done by the Elks Club of Campbell River. But unfortunately, throughout the years, it's got a smaller and smaller and smaller club, and they don't have the funding anymore. So
I think they shut down, didn't they?
yes, unfortunately, that's a lot of years of history. This is a 37th year for the huck fin derby, and my team picked it up last year when it was unable to go ahead. And so we picked it up, and that was our first year of running it, and we had a ball. And this year, even bigger, we've brought on the Campbell River Salmon Foundation as our corporate sponsor.
Oh my.
And so we're going to have some very experienced fisher persons on the pier helping all the youngsters learn how to fish. And they've provided all the funding for all of the prizes. And of course, Lynn and Craig Arneson from A Cut Above, they're going to be running it. They're very avid fisher people. And it's a catch and release, and we're quite excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. So give us a little, if you're a tourist in town, or maybe you've been in town and you've never gone, what happens here on Canada Day?
Well, on Canada Day, number one, you have to bring your Canadian spirit with you, but you do not have to bring any money. Everything that we do on Canada Day, with the exception of food, is free to the community. All of our events, which start on June the 30th, it's called The Night Before, and it's hosted down at Spirit Square. We close off the main street downtown and do a big car show. And then we have a big country concert, all free, in Spirit Square. Last year we had over 1,000 people, so it's quite exciting. Thais Chavos is going to be doing a new car show as well as an old car show. And we have the Antique Car Club. They come out as well and bring their cars. And it's fun because we set the barbecue up on the main street, and we are going to be cooking salmon this year, sponsored by Grieg Seafood. And you're going to get a full meal for $5. And what that money does is it goes back into the Canada Day Committee for next year for entertainment in Spirit Square. So for $5, you get an amazing salmon dinner. And of course, we are the salmon capital of the world.
Absolutely.
So it's quite suiting. So we did love to invite all the tourists down for that. And again, a free country concert. We've got line dancers this year, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then you can just stroll around, look at the cars. We've got activities for the kids as well. And that's kind of our precursor to the next morning, which starts very early at 7:30 in the morning down at Frank James Park. And all of our firefighters all team up together, and we do a big pancake breakfast. Quality Food provides all of the food for that. The firefighters do all the cooking, and it's just by donation. And that money goes back to the Willow Point Volunteer Firefighters. And so that helps out that organization as well. And that runs until 11 o'clock. And then at 11 o'clock, we clear away the pancakes and we get ready for cupcakes. The Legion Pipe Band comes at 12 o'clock. And we've got two singers that are going to be performing from 12 until 1 and then from 1 until 2. We also have a wrestling demonstration in the Willow Point Hall. Again, everything is free. You only have to pay for your food.
Wrestling?
Yes, it's going to be a wrestling demonstration because we have to have something for everyone on Canada Day. And they're a group out of Vancouver that come and do wrestling demonstrations. So it's quite fun for the young people to go and see that. I don't think you should be wrestling, though.
But
it's going to be fun, and that's going to be sponsored by the Willow Point BIA.
Okay.
Because it's quite expensive to bring them to town to do a demonstration.
Yes.
So whilst that is all happening, up at the Sportsplex, we are hosting the Mike McGuinness Memorial Skateboard Competition. And Corby and the folks from Boardwalk,
Oh,
they put it all on
So nice for teenagers.
for teenagers, and they start right from they're called little shredders. The little kids that skateboard, they're called shredders. I've learned all
You
of
would
this
know.
over the years. But Corby from Boardwalk does an amazing job. Him and his wife, they put on a fabulous skateboard competition, and that runs until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we've got Willow Point all taken care of. The shops in Willow Point are going to be open, and they're encouraging people to just stroll around and walk around and enjoy their businesses. And then from the skateboard competition, we head up into Campbell River. And of course, the Huck Finn Derby starts at 9 o'clock and runs until 12. And they have the Huck Finn and the small fry. Now, for the little guys, 0 to 3, they're on the pier and they have a big pool there. And it's got all sorts of little fish in it that they can, all
Okay.
pre-stocked.
Okay.
And everyone that enters wins a prize. And again, all the prizes are sponsored by the Campbell River Salmon Foundation. So, you know, it's going to be pretty lucrative for the kids. And of course, while that's going on, we have the whole downtown all cordoned off. We have the Pier Street Farmers Market, which spills right into the downtown core. And we have over 60 vendors already registered for that. So you can walk downtown, you can visit the Belt Sander races, which is sponsored by Home Hardware and Makita. And that's a whole lot of fun. If you've never raced a Belt Sander, oh my goodness, it gets quite competitive as
I've heard
well.
about it.
And Makita gives thousands of dollars worth of prizes for that. And of course, Home Hardware takes care of all of that. They are the sponsor for that, and they run the event. On this side of that, which is going to be right in front of the People's Drug Mart, we have the big McDonald's Community Cruiser, which is a 50-foot long camper van, and they will be giving out free coffee and free hot chocolate all day on Canada Day.
This is the best Canada Day on the island.
It is the best and the biggest, and I make sure of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I have such an amazing team because Campbell River is my team, and
Yeah, I wanna
everyone
get into
comes
the team
together
first,
for
but
that.
We haven't even got to the parade yet.
No, so once we've got the Belt Sander races, and then on this side of the Belt Sander races are going to be scooter trials. Now, this is for the seniors that drive the scooters. And they are going to run through a course, and they're going to be timed, and there's great prizes for that as well. While all of that is going on, we're at the community center, and we will be hosting our Quality Foods Kids Fest. Last year, we put 5,000 children through there, and that, again, is free for all the kids.
You're doing this without notes.
Well, I breathe it. It's my life. I love it so much. The Rotary comes and cooks hot dogs and hamburgers and supplies all the food for everybody at Kids Fest. The Storm Hockey Club comes out and puts hockey games on with the kids on the street. And of course, my animals will be there, and we'll do the petting zoo as well, and that's all part of the Kids Fest. Whilst Kids Fest is going on, we have Spirit Square filled with the local all-star talent stage, and it's all the local talent in the community that go and perform on the stage, and Jim Creighton does such an amazing job. And of course, there's public bathrooms all over the place. We bring in 30 porta potties. Coast will be supplying them this year for us.
There. You got special funding from council for it.
I was so lucky
You had
for
to
that,
work
John,
together.
let me tell you.
Lucky?
And the
I don't think
reason
so.
being, the city of Campbell River has just been absolutely phenomenal for Canada Day.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for me to go to different businesses and ask for funding for Canada Day so I could get porta potties so people can relieve themselves. And I didn't want to put anybody's business name on that. And the city said that it's part of their mandate to provide bathroom facilities. And so the city came through with the money, and Coast has given us a great deal. So we also saved the city money.
Coast?
Coast Environmental, which is the porta potties. They gave us an amazing deal, which actually saved the city $600. So I'm pretty grateful. Again, it's corporate sponsorship that makes this happen. And of course, whilst they're going on at Spirit Square, we're getting all organized and ready for the parade. Now, Dogwood Street will be closed down at 3 o'clock. Ironwood Street will be closed down on 16th Avenue. We all have that all in the paper, and it's all available on our website. And this
which
year,
is?
our website is crcanadaday.com. And again, that website is done strictly by volunteers, and BAM Designs has done an amazing job for us. And they update it all the time. They'll have all the information that everyone needs, including the parade applications. And the parade applications are $10. First prize for the parade is $1,000, and that's sponsored by the Campbell River Rotary Club. Second prize is $750, and third prize is $500. And then, of course, there's children's categories as well, and that's all hundreds of dollars, and equestrian.
Yeah.
And so our prize take for the parade is about $3,000.
Awesome. Well, we roughly know the route of the parade. What was the time it starts?
It starts exactly at 4 o'clock,
Okay.
but Dogwood Street will be closed by 3:30, and then they can route down 9th Avenue and access like Home Hardware and Save On and Thrifties can all be accessed down 9th Avenue. We don't want to hurt anyone's business in any way, shape, or form. Lyle Jelinas, our outgoing inspector from the RCMP detachment, has done such an amazing job of our street closures and keeping us safe. And
Sergeant Preston from the Northwest Mounted is coming.
I know, I'm anxious to meet him. I think he's going to have to join my team as well, so you know. But the parade will go down through the downtown core and then wrap up and back around and end back at Ironwood Mall again.
Yeah. What's a good viewing spot for people?
Well, you know, it's tough. I've been all over the community to watch that parade, and you know, there's so many great spots to watch the
Is
parade.
the fire hall a good spot?
It's not going by the fire hall.
Oh, okay.
It's going to start right by Save On Foods,
Okay.
go all along 16th Avenue, and it's going to run through the downtown core, up beside HSBC Bank, and back around that way.
Okay.
So good vantage points, of course, Visitor Information Center, the Tidemark Theater, Spirit Square.
Discovery Inn?
Discovery Inn would be brilliant. Yes,
Yeah.
it's nice to see them back in our community as
Yeah.
well. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that because we put a lot of our entertainers up at the Coast Discovery Inn.
Oh, good.
So again, they come on as a corporate sponsor.
Yeah. So we got the parade. It starts at
4 o'clock.
Probably goes to 5:30.
5:30, and then from 5:30 we invite everybody over to the Osler Park at the foreshore where we have our big stage set up. And we have parachuters coming out of the sky, and once they land, then of course we'll do our opening ceremonies, and then we have Canada Day cake for everybody. And of course, again, that's quality food supplies, enough food for 5,000 people, and all the cake is free. And we have our dignitaries. We're blessed. We'll have Claire Trevenna and John Duncan.
Congratulations, you even pronounced her name right.
Oh, I love Claire. She's awesome.
Yeah. Well, so many people call her Trevina because that's how it's spelled.
Exactly, but I
the
know it's Trevenna,
pronunciation,
yes.
Good for you.
Then, of course, we'll do our singing of O Canada and have our dignitaries. It's short and sweet because people are there to eat cake. And as soon as we're finished with the opening ceremonies, of course, the bands pick up again, and they play right through until our spectacular fireworks.
Yeah.
And that goes off at 10:22, so there's many
Not
food vendors.
10:23, eh?
Nope, 10:22.
Okay.
We have to stick with the Coast Guard's rules.
Oh.
Got to have rules. And of course, this year we're very excited because this is the first time that we'll be having the First Nations war canoes arriving in Campbell River on Canada Day. They will be at 1 o'clock, they'll be arriving at Cape Mudge, and there's 1,000 paddlers. There's going to be 5,000 people at the Numbalese Cultural Center over at the Cape. They too will have huge celebrations, and then they will enjoy our fireworks at 10:22.
Yeah, I heard there's a bit of a planning thing about parking and ferry crossings.
And you know what? They've done such a good
They
job.
worked it
They
out, eh?
have Eagle Eye Adventures and Campbell River Whale Watching and Hurricane Jack and Way West Charters. They're going to just keep shuttling back and forth from Cape Mudge over to
$20 a ride, I heard.
Yep, and you can get back and forth without having to worry. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a huge addition to our Canada Day celebration to have those extra 5,000 people.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. It just everything
I think
about
I get
Canada
a
Day
parking
is.
spot 2 days in advance.
Well, yes, and one thing that's very important that people have to realize that on the night of the 29th, the Osler Park parking lot will be cordoned off. You're not going to be able to park there because Canada Day falls on a Tuesday. Monday is still a working day, but we will have that to get the stage and everything set up. And every year, Aztec Freight gives us 3 semis, and we put them side by side, and Dave Tabish from Class A Interiors builds our stage, and that's how we get a free stage out of the deal, but it works. And we have Hugh Schmidt, who just does an amazing job of our sound. He does Spirit Square sound as well as the foreshore, and he just does such an amazing job.
Well, that's a lot of information, and you keep track of it amazingly well. But you don't do it alone.
No, you
like
know what?
I've got one from last year where it says Carol Chapman, Chair of the Canada Day Committee. I understand this year you have a co-chair?
No, I've never had a co-chair. I've always chaired it myself.
Okay.
I could not do it without my amazing team. The
Yeah.
Canberra River Firefighters, I have Chief Ian Bakey that sits on my team. Of course, Inspector Lyle Jelinas from the RCMP. I have from the Coroner's Service, Mr. Ron Fisher from Vancouver Island Insurance Centre. I have Judy Shepley. And of course, the incomparable Mr. Jim Lilburn from Canberra River Salmon Fest. He is integral in all of the tables and the chairs, and he's just an amazing man.
Yeah.
From the Converge Church, we have Pastor Mark Miles.
Oh.
From the River Corp and the Canberra River Visitor Information Center, we have Rhonda Harper. She's my girl that does all the paperwork and takes all the minutes, and she's also the treasurer, which all the money that comes in goes out. And of course, with
I
the
have to get to meet her.
with the parting of Cyril De Bruin from Quality Foods, who we miss more than you could imagine.
Yeah.
But he has brought us a wonderful man named Mike Trask, and he has just slipped right into Cyril's shoes.
good.
He's just a great
Well,
person.
you told me before we went recording that you got a 5-year deal out of Quality Foods.
Quality Foods has
That's
signed
pretty
on
smart.
for 5 more years,
Yeah.
and they are partners with the City of
Yeah.
Campbell River and West Coast Tug and Barge. Like, they're always the ones that people don't really realize that is a $15,000 journey to bring those fireworks from Middle Point to downtown. Then they anchor, then they have to take them all back again, but that ties up 4 people on the tugboat, plus the barge, plus the tugboat, plus the fuel.
Yeah.
And they are the other very integral partner in the fireworks between Quality Foods, the City of Campbell River, and
Yeah.
West Coast Tug and Barge.
Now, I heard there was, well, I didn't hear, I saw it somewhere, that there's a $20,000 donation from Quality Foods just for the fireworks?
Just for the fireworks.
That's the fireworks, not the barge?
That's not the barge, no. And then the city
Wow.
gives us $15,000.
Wow.
Our fireworks, when we order our fireworks, we make sure we spend $1,000 more than the city of Victoria, so we can boast the biggest fireworks on the island.
You're too good.
But it's only because this community is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you need? I get
Yeah.
that from the city, from the
Yeah.
DOC. Like,
Yeah.
everybody is amazing.
There's all sorts of questions I'm not going to get to. But one of the ones is like, okay, this is for you're talking about the community, but Canada Day. Why not do it on BC Day? What's special about Canada Day for you?
For me, I thank God every day that I'm so blessed to be Canadian, because we live strong and free here. We are so fortunate to live in such an amazing country, as well as the province. And my city is first and foremost. I am true blue to Campbell River. But 14 years ago, the mayor of the day, who was then Jim Lorney, I asked him, because I was a president of the chamber at the time, I said, how come we don't have any Canada Day fireworks anymore? Because I had young children, and they asked, why is there no fireworks? Then my employees' kids would say, how come we don't celebrate Canada Day?
Yeah.
So I went to the mayor and I said, how come we don't celebrate Canada Day? And he said, well, there's no money. And I said, well, what if I go out and raise it? Can we have fireworks? He said, sure.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And
Yeah. Here, this is a question not on my list. How much money have you raised over the?
oh, millions.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed in this community. I've raised so much money for, SPCA, for the firefighters, for the RCMP, for Tour de Rock. But it's the community that allows me to do it, and they're the first ones to say, what do you want? What do you need?
Yeah. Fashion Inferno.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love Fashion Inferno. We're just doing 13 years. We just finished our 13 year of Fashion Inferno, and that's with the Canberra River firefighters, who are my heroes. I mean, they keep us safe. So when they needed some fundraising done, I came up with this idea, and it's been running for 13 years.
There's another big one you do. I'm just not jumping out of my notes. So you got the Canada Day, the Cops for Cancer. Is there another one that I'm missing?
Well, I did last year. I did the RCMP musical ride, and that was fabulous. And all of the money that I raise in the community stays in the community. And of course, the musical ride we did very, very well on, because again, the community supported us, and that went to Crime Stoppers, which is again which keeps us strong and free, right? To know that we've got our RCMP out there working for us. So, and of course, I do the Enchanted Forest for the Canberra River Hospital Foundation at Christmas time. And for many years, I fundraised for the SPCA and love the animals, And of course,
and
Relay
you get
for
your
Life.
picture in the paper from time to time.
Yeah, that's not a haircut I'm really proud of. But you
I
know
don't know if
what?
you
It
can
was
get that.
so amazing to do
There it
Relay
is.
for Life, and for many years I've
Yeah.
had the opportunity to
Yeah.
work with the Relay for Life team,
Yeah.
because again, that's the Canadian Cancer Society, which also does the Tour de Rock.
Yeah.
And you know, again, the community, they made $22,000 at Relay for Life
Wow.
from this amazing community.
Huh. Well, that's awesome. Now, a lot of people will know that you have a special love for animals.
Oh, that's my energy, I
yeah.
think, is from the animals.
And there's a little letter thanking you for bringing the petting zoo to, what was it, Campbell River Christian School event, Spring Carnival. Well, tell us about the petting zoo. What's
Well, how I ended up with my petting zoo is, of course, I'm so passionate for animals, and for 12 years, as you know, I did the show through Shaw for the SBCA, and any animals that ended up at the shelter at the SBCA that they couldn't take, because they couldn't take chickens and ducks and llamas and
Yeah.
goats, and so I'll take them. Well, that grew to 61 animals.
where are they?
They're all on my farm in Black Creek.
Oh, I didn't know you had a
I do a lot of school tours. I'm very, very lucky to have be able to offer the school tours for free.
But do you have a home in town plus a farm? in
No,
Black-
I live I live in Campbell River, but I sleep at Miracle Beach. And so yeah, I have all little miniature animals that if somebody needs some fundraising done, the animals make great money, and everybody
Yeah.
loves to, you know, pet the animals, and it gave those animals an opportunity to have a life
Yeah.
as well, right?
But they need maintenance.
Yeah, that's what I do every day from 5 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Then I jump in the shower and I drive to work and I work all day, and then I go home and feed them all and get them back in their barns and love them.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I'm a
Awesome.
pretty lucky girl. I have a lot
Yeah.
of energy, but I think I get them from the animals.
So how do you feel about the evolution of the SPCA?
Well, you know, I know nothing stays the same forever, and I know that the SPCA is always out there looking after the animals and the abused animals, and it saddens me that we don't have that adoption anymore, but at the same time, everything needs to grow and evolve, and I know the SPCA has a mandate to make sure nobody abuses animals. It would be, I always say if I win the lottery, we're going to have the biggest animal shelter in Campbell River. But you know what? Those people are doing a great job of protecting the animals. But unfortunately, we no longer have an adoption center in Campbell River. But you never know what they got around the corner. I have huge faith in the SBCA, so I know something's going to transpire.
Good. Now, the future of Campbell River, this is really kind of, I didn't warn you about this, but you know, there's a lot of change happening, not all of it good, but you know, a lot of people are pitching in, and like the Chamber of Commerce, you've mentioned them, River Corp, you know, we're doing stuff in the Campbellton neighborhood. Did you ever live in Campbellton, by the way?
Born and raised in Campbellton.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep, I'm a river
Yeah.
girl, 20th
Yeah.
Avenue my whole life.
Yeah, but you know, the homeless shelter, that's up in the air a bit. How do you feel about Campbell River? Like, do we need to get in there and fix things? Which,
know,
if so, which? Or?
I always think that fixing things isn't something that happens overnight, and that it is a process, and it has to come from passion, not just from politics. We have so many amazing groups in this community. I mean, you mentioned Campbellton. Look at what the Campbellton Association has done. They have, that looks beautiful in Campbellton. It went from being not quite so beautiful to getting back on its feet. And you know, I know Brian Shaw and the crew down there, Keely Dollinson, they're doing a heck of a good job of making sure Campbellton gets the attention that it deserves. And you know what, I think good things are happening in Campbell River, but you know what, I always want it to happen now, but I know it's a process, and I know it takes time to do it. But I think Campbell River is, she's on the cusp of something amazing.
Yeah. Have you thought about going into politics?
You know,
Your husband did.
I have thought about it long and hard, but right at this point, whilst I have my farm and I live in Black Creek, it's really difficult for me to say, yeah, I want to run for council when I don't actually live in the city limits,
Well, that's true too.
and I don't pay Campbell River taxes. I have for many, many years, but unfortunately, you can't have 12 acres in the city limits and have all of the animals.
Yes.
And I put my passion into the animals, because at this point in time, animals don't have a say in the community. So I thought my job right now, God put me in that place to look after the animals, and once my farm has been sold and I do purchase something in Campbell River, oh yeah, you never know what's going to happen around the bend.
You heard it here first, folks.
You just never know, right?
Yeah.
I'm very, very good friends with the city of Campbell River, and they have been so obliging to me that, you know what, all I can do is give them a big pat on the back at this point in time, because I do see a lot of amazing stuff happening.
Yeah. What about the homeless shelter? Do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely do, because again, I do believe that God puts good in everybody, and it's not everybody's fault that they're homeless, but we need a place for them to be, and we need a place downtown for them, because they don't have transportation to get everywhere. And the lighthouse, you know, where they get their meals and everything is in the downtown core. I would love to see something happen there, and I know that it is very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts to make sure that those people are looked after, because we're not all blessed to have good careers.
Yeah. One of the shelters I saw in the paper today, I didn't study it well yet, but they're thinking of lowering the barriers to getting in there. But I mean, that was one of the things that the homeless shelter was important for, was because it was low barrier.
And you know what? Again, nobody fits into a profile as to being homeless, and I think lowering the barriers will help a lot of people, because you know what? All they need is a chance, right? I do believe that we do need something in the downtown core, and I think it should be a lower barrier. But again, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I care about everybody, and I think that they're everybody, and they're part of our community. That's another reason Canada Day is all free, so that they can all come and enjoy. And trust me, I've had some of the homeless people help me set my petting farm up the night before Canada Day. I'd be getting it all done down by the Visitor Info Center, and they're like, "Hey, Carol, do you need a hand?" It's like, absolutely. And they chipped in, and they want to help. They want to be part of our community, and we need to give them some place to sleep at night instead of on the street.
How do you feel about job creation?
Well, that's a big one. I'm always hoping we're going to have some job creation, trust me. Right now, with our new hospital happening and our hydro project and all of the construction downtown, none of that has hired a lot of people yet. I know that come October, the hydro project will be well on its way, and I know they're going to hire 75% local, so that's huge. But I don't know, as politicians, what we can do to create more employment in the community. I'm stumped on that one.
Yeah, it's like the community doesn't have the financial base to do a lot, but
No.
they're close to the people that need the help. And free political on my own station here. If we could get work experience like broom bashing.
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
And it's not just, you know, like they get used to getting up and going to work for the people that are doing that, and the fresh air and all that.
It's a sense of purpose at the same time.
But like the physical activity helps with the mental.
Exactly. And when you're mentally more stable, life is just better.
Yeah.
But you know what? I do believe that the schools do a lot of the work experience, and I know at the salon we've had many young people come in and try their hand at hairdressing.
Yeah,
and
some of them can't cut it, can they?
No, and I think that the work experience through the school district is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because it gives kids a chance to see what they want to do as a career. But it's too bad we can't do that in community. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah. 2 minutes left. Time flies.
I know when you're having fun.
My curveball question, is there something that I didn't ask that you want to talk about?
You know what? I've enjoyed this conversation so much, but really at the end of the day, it's community that makes us, I mean, even with Shaw, look at, you guys are so good to me in the community financially with any of the fundraising that I'm doing. It takes a whole community to make a successful community, and I'm just blessed to be part of this community. We're pretty lucky to live here.
Good. Okay. And the website for Canada Day?
crcanadaday.com. And again, I have to thank BAM Designs for doing that, because they're just amazing. Between Benny from BAM Designs and Mark Miles from the Converge Church, they're the new young people on the Canada Day team, which makes me very excited to have them.
Well, on behalf of the community, thank you for all of the wonderful good works you've done.
It's been absolutely my pleasure. I couldn't do without my community.
And thanks for coming in.
And thank you for having me here
you're
today.
welcome.
It was a
Maybe
pleasure.
we'll have it again.
I think that would be fun.
Okay. Well, there's another Talk About in the can. We thank you for watching, and if you'd like to watch it again, who wouldn't? We're on YouTube too. So Shaw TV North Island on YouTube. Google it, and you can watch Carol. Enjoy all of the volunteer work you do. So thank you, volunteers. Thank you, Shaw, and especially thank you, viewers.